Hi, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. My theme today is incremental enlightenment. I'd like to start with a story. In 2012, I was bound and determined to awaken. I'd been doing a lot of ayahuasca work, many ceremonies, and I had had these amazing near enlightenment experiences, or rather, I would get to the end of one of the ceremonies and I was for sure in an awakened state. I knew I was. I was very conscious as my own divinity. It was awesome, ecstatic, blissful, and would then enjoy that state for a few hours and then would go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and it was gone. Very frustrating. So I worked a deal with ayahuasca. This was just after the ceremony. So I said, okay, I'll go down to Peru. I'll do a double dieta. I will stay down there for a month. I will do 10 ceremonies in the jungle. And ayahuasca, here's the deal. You give me an awakening that lasts, a permanent enlightenment, and I won't ever have to drink you again. Ayahuasca is not easy to work with sometimes. So I went down there. She kept her end of the bargain. After the 8th ceremony, I got an awakening that stayed overnight. And I woke up the next morning and I was still there. And I was laying there. When you go down, in this case, anyhow, to Peru to do a dieta, which is an extended period in the jungle, drinking ayahuasca or other plant medicines, you're with other people in the ceremony, but then you're alone otherwise. You're in your little isolated space in the jungle, this little simple hut, and you basically hang out on your own until the next ceremony. And the idea is to commune with the medicine and the jungle and all that. So I'm laying here in my little tambo, that's what the little huts are called, and my pineal gland is just going, whoa! And I'm in such bliss, I could say I could happily lay here for the rest of my life. This feels so amazing. And I honestly wondered, have I hit the ultimate awakening first time out? Because it was so blissful, so ecstatic, anything beyond anything I could have imagined. I literally couldn't conceive, how could it possibly get any better than this? I even wondered, oh my God, as an awakened being, do I know everything? Can I suddenly speak Spanish now so I can communicate with these people who are bringing my food more easily? Sure enough, no Spanish. My Spanish wasn't any better than it had been. So I had no idea, new territory, right? So it did stay, and the awakening has stuck ever since. But to my surprise, it's gotten deeper. And the first time after that I had an incremental awakening where it got even better, I said, whoa, I guess that wasn't the ultimate. I've gotten to a next level yet. And that was, back in 2012, that was about 10 years ago. And it just gets better and better and better. And since then, I've had many incremental awakenings. And that's my theme today. It's not just a one-shot deal, at least in my experience. Now, I have heard a report from a spiritual teacher who I greatly admire, who said he just got in and done. He is at the ultimate level. And I would love to do that myself, but my own experience seems to be incremental. And I think for the vast majority of us, I'm guessing most of us humans are not going to hit the ultimate awakening in this lifetime. You can get to a certain level and then it goes beyond that. And this same teacher, Adyashanti, wrote a really wise thing in his book called The End of Your World, which I highly recommend if you've hit at least a basic awakening and want to learn how to negotiate that. It's a whole book on how do you function as an awakened being, a newly awakened being, right? And he says, if you have an awakening and it's what you thought it was going to be, it's not a real awakening. And this has proved absolutely true for me. Here's how it functions. You have several nested bodies. The innermost is the physical. Next to that is the energy body, the emotional body, and then there's the mental body, and then beyond that are all the spiritual bodies. And here's the trick: the mental body can't get to the spiritual level. It can use metaphors and similes and very rough descriptions like I'm doing here, but there's no way that word or thought can even begin to comprehend or encompass the spiritual realities. Those are being states. And therefore, by that definition, it's literally not possible for the mind to imagine what the next awakening is going to be. And sure enough, every time I've had another incremental awakening, it's a complete surprise. Oh my gosh. And I apologize right here. I can't put it in words. It's not possible. But I can just tell you, more bliss, more ecstasy, more euphoria. I'm doing my best. Another Adyashanti phrase I love comes to mind. He says, I'm about to talk about spiritual awakening, which can't be expressed in words. So I know I'm going to fail, but I'm going to fail as well as I can. So my message here is really simple. Even if you've attained an awakening, don't get stuck in the possible arrogance I talked about Just before this, I recorded my astrology forecast for the second half of May 2021, and I talked about the low side of Sagittarius, which is street corner preacher syndrome. I have the one true way, and I'm right and you're wrong, which is a possible downside of that energy. Now, there's plenty of upsides too, but don't think just because you're at a certain level of awakening, you hit the jackpot. Now, maybe you have, maybe that's possible. It's beyond my experience if so, but chances are there's more to come. And to say I have attained a certain level of awakening, yeah, I know this is true for sure. I'm experiencing it, but even to the levels I've got to, which is enough to help people, my suspicion is that I'm not even 1% into what's possible. I mean, if it's literally infinite, how could you ever even hit an endpoint, right? Now, maybe there is a way to become the entire universe consciously and be the whole thing. I'm certainly not at that level, but just the idea that no matter how awake you are, leave room for more. Continue doing whatever practices or whatever you do to cultivate that state, to open the door to new possibilities, and just be open that it can get even better and better and better. That's why, you know, some people say, oh, it doesn't get any better than this. Yeah, that's not my motto. My motto is it always gets better than this. And I guess that's a beautiful thought to leave you with on the subject of spiritual awakening. I hope this has been helpful. If you would like some guidance into, if you don't have a path that's really working for you to get and maintain and deepen spiritual awakening, I will recommend my invocations. And I'll put a link under the video for this. But if you go to astroshaman.com, my website, you'll see on the menu bar, the last word is invocations. And if you click that, you'll go to a little post that will tell you about this free 6-part invocation masterclass I offer. Back in 2011, even before I had this awakening, ayahuasca dropped in some invocations into my brain. They're super simple. Just about anyone can actually call in their own embodied awakening at will. They can call for healing if something's disturbing them. It's pretty amazing. These simple little 7 and 8 word invocations are really powerful and have worked for now thousands of people. So check that out. If you don't already have a path that's really working for you to call in your awakening and maintain and deepen it, this is one way of many. And if it works for you, awesome. It's free. Use it all you like. So again, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. If you want to work with me personally, I do astrology readings, I do shamanic healing, now which includes internal family systems therapy, inspired healing. A lot of the time, I'm a life coach. I have a membership called Awakening Plus, which is for spiritual support. It's an online thing. So a lot of stuff you can check out if you want to go to astroshaman.com. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate your time and energy. I hope this has been helpful, and I wish you infinite blessings.